Oh, we
Okay.
don't have to make a motion.
Okay.
Or do we, because it's a
Okay.
hot mess, but. I don't
Yeah,
know.
what
All right.
I'd suggest at this point is if we've got a quorum for the membership that would vote on the March minutes, we can do that at this time, and then we can take action on last meeting's minutes at the next meeting.
Let's do that. So we'll vote on March. Any corrections? All right, so we'll consider March to be approved, and we will then table the May 22nd meeting minutes until the following meeting when we have a quorum. All right, sounds good.
We won't have a quorum tonight either.
All right, under other actions, we are switching the agenda up a little bit at John's request, so we're gonna take on the Dakota County Site Plan 2023-15, the Law Enforcement Center Edition first, and then we'll do the Pope Design Group. So we'll switch that order. So John, go ahead and,
Sure. I'll give a brief introduction here while Maddie gets ready. I want to introduce to the Planning Commission our Community Development Intern for the summer, Madeline Swanson. She's been with us over the last month or so. We've been with us through the summer, and thought it would be a good idea for her to prepare some information for the Planning Commission and get some information on presentation. So she's been a wonderful assistance to us in a lot of variety of things, and when you go check out the Makers Alleyway coming up, the first one this Thursday, that she is a big part behind that. She has really taken the lead in that project. So I will turn it over to Maddie. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, John. Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you. Nice to see everybody. So we'll go ahead and get started here. I would like to share with you all, commissioners and Chair Messina, the Dakota County Law Enforcement Integrative Health Unit Edition. This is located at the Dakota County Administrative Center in the northwestern area of Hastings. And this is a site plan application. So the application is a site plan application and land use application was submitted to the City of Hastings on May 9th, 2023 by Tricia Bremer, the project manager there at Dakota County. Consultation and design plans from Bolton and Menk Incorporated, as well as Wold Architects and Engineers, though they have had input in this as well. This application appeared at our DRC, or Development Review Committee, on May 23rd, which was a Tuesday. So it was reviewed by a variety of city staff members, including Community Development, Public Works, Parks and Rec, and also our Fire Marshal. So as we can see here, okay, it turned out good. So as you can see here, the red is the outline of the property of the Dakota County Administrative Center, or Administration Center. And within that, we have this, inside of this red square here, we have the yellow highlighted area, and that is where the proposed building site is. So that is the addition site where the new interior addition will be, as well as the exterior parking lot that will be shifted further north, which I will get into here in a second. So the overall proposal that we have here is 30 cell block units of detention housing for detainees of Dakota County, as well as program and support spaces for the law enforcement. So this addition will, as I mentioned, will extend into the current parking lot. I'll show pictures here in a second so we can get a better visualization of that. But here is the street view from 4th Street West facing south. As we can see, if we go back here, 4th Street goes along here. So this is where the aerial picture was taken, or the street view picture was taken. That's the aerial view picture. So yeah, this will extend north further and cut in, leaning towards where this picture was taken. And we have these blue arrows deciphering where specifically the extension will come out from. So if we take a look here, again in red, we have these, if you see these 3 lines right here. So this is the current state of the site right now off of 4th Street. So if you take into account the red lines and we go to the next slide, you will see where the red lines fade in. So this is the proposed extension of the building here. And we have this red area coming into the rest of the building there. So as you can see in the previous one, the parking lot is currently here. And the parking lot will shift further up. Oops, not that. It will shift further up into north the more northern part of the lot there. So, lot basics after the proposed addition. This addition would bring in 13,235 additional square feet of interior space that would be utilized by the Dakota County Law Enforcement, as well as 11,720 square feet of exterior parking lot, as well as 520 feet of lot perimeter there. The max building height of this property would be 120 feet, and the parking lot would be 36 parking spaces with 2 accessible parking spaces. And this is a private lot, so it's not, there's not any pedestrian access because it is primarily for Dakota County Law Enforcement and their squad vehicles for the most part. And then as we can see in the grid, the graph down here, to the north is vacant land owned by the Independent School District, Hastings School District, and that is residential zone. So we had, within that, we requested trees to be planted and shrubs to be planted in that area because it does face a residential zone. As we can see over here, to the east, there's the sheriff's office, and then the law enforcement office to the south, where the red lines were, or where the red lines are that I proposed there. And then to the west is the Juvenile Services Center. So these are some of the trees. I'm an environmental studies major, so I love this stuff. But yeah, so up here in the top left side, we have an autumn gold maidenhair that will be planted just north of the parking lot, as well as a northern catalpa. Then we also have some switchgrass, Joe pieweed, and a black chokecherry. So this is what the exterior of the building will look like from the north. So we have big wooden windows, and all of the current exterior and facade pieces match the current structure and integrity of the building. And this is a little messy. There's a lot going on here. It's a little blurry, but as we can see here, we have the proposed building addition, and then we can see the altitude and the elevation. So this does slope down a significant amount from the end of the parking lot down to 4th Street West. And then we also have plans for stormwater, and we also have an irrigation basin over up here, which will help with stormwater flow. And as well, we also have so we have the project location in the middle and the 1 mile boundary for stormwater and stormwater pollution prevention. An area of interest that we have up here is Lake Rebecca, so that's something to keep in mind when doing construction and other industrial work, that this area of this waterway is an important resource that we need to keep in mind, that we don't want anything bad to get into there. So as for lighting, the lighting is looking good. It will adequately illuminate the parking lot and exterior areas. No changes in the trash and waste systems. Those will be maintained just east of the proposed addition in a different area of the building. And site plan approval will be conditioned upon the final approval of grading, drainage, erosion control, and utility plan by Public Works Director Ryan. So overall recommendation, there's a lot of words here, but this is in the memorandum that we have. So we have final approval of all of that, as I mentioned, as well as all disturbed areas on the property shall be stabilized with rooting vegetation to eliminate erosion. That's a big thing, especially with the slope of the hill there. Disturbance areas of the site shall be maintained to the requirements of the city's property maintenance ordinance. All rooftop equipment shall be screened by a parapet wall or painted to match the building, and any uncompleted site work, including landscaping, must be escrowed at 125% of the estimated value. And with our sunset clause here, approval is subject to a 1-year sunset clause. If significant progress is not made towards the proposal within 1 year of the City Council approval, or by June 12, 2024, a year from today, the approval is null and void. So, with that, I would like to see if there's any comments from any designers or applicants, if there's anybody present here today. If not, that's okay too. Yeah, go ahead.
I just have one clarification.
Yeah.
If the maximum building height was noted as 120 feet,
Okay.
it's 20 feet. That might just be.
Okay.
By only 20 feet, 520.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you for clarifying. Awesome. Anything else? All right, cool. And then, so with that, I would ask the commission to consider a recommendation for the addition at the Dakota County Law Enforcement site, either an approval or denial or a table.
Okay, thanks, Madeline.
Yep,
Nice Was that
thank
your
you very
first
much.
presentation with us?
Huh?
Was that your first presentation with us?
Yes, that was.
Very nice job.
Thank you.
Very nice job. Thank you. Okay, yeah, I did catch that. It's supposed to be 20 feet, I believe, not 120
Yeah, my
feet.
bad.
Oh, no, it was in there, but I know what you meant, so. Commissioners, I'll open it up to any questions or discussion. Just right off the bat, I'll let you know I'm recusing myself because of my conflict of interest for my full-time employment, obviously, so I will not be participating in the discussion. I'll be abstaining on the vote, so. Okay, so I'll go ahead and open up to commissioners with questions or comments. Or motion, whichever you prefer. Commissioner Albert?
Mr. Chair, I'll make the motion to approve site plan for 1560 Highway 55, dependent on the 7 conditions.
Okay. All right, Commissioner Hubbard, do I have a second? Commissioner McGrath?
Second.
All right, Commissioner McGrath, second. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And I'll abstain. That motion carries because we have a quorum.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair. So this item with the recommendation will go forward to the city council at their June 26th meeting.
Okay,
All right, thank you.
thank you, John. All right. Our second item for tonight is the Pope Design Group, Site Plan 2023-14, which is the Regina Assisted Living Expansion, 1008 First Street West. And Justin, you have a staff report for us?
I do, thank you very much. The applicants are proposing to remodel some interior spaces. This project is mostly an internal rehab project, but some of their improvements spill to the outside and affect the site. So those are what we're going to be reviewing. Some of the changes include a slight expansion of part of the building where they're doing some infill work on the first floor, which is presently open air space underneath the 2 other stories, which will include a vestibule just outside of the perimeter and include a venting chase that will be going from a kitchen up to the roof line. And they're going to be creating a new receiving loading dock area, adding a employee parking lot, and making some modifications to the existing parking lot and moving an entrance. This aerial picture shows the existing parking lot that's circled in yellow. Currently, it's internal angled parking surrounded by drive aisle area on the bottom and like a double drive aisle on the north. And they're going to be converting it to a perimeter parking with the drive aisle straight through the center, which will provide some additional parking and also allow access of trucks to come in through that east entrance, go through the parking lot into the new parking lot and loading area shown in red, which would allow them to back up to that loading area. The little small square in the middle is the vestibule area, also where that venting chase will be. It's not as large as that red square, but it's just to show the area. And then on the west to the left, there's the outline of the new parking lot and loading area, which will remove that entrance where those 2 connect, and it'll move that entrance down opposite of Fraser Street. This is the parking lot reconfiguration where the parking stalls are moved from the center of the parking lot to the perimeter and creating a drive aisle through the middle, which connects to the new parking lot through a one-way driveway. Now, the access isn't directional and the parking isn't directional of this main parking lot, so they presumably would mostly just use that entrance that's existing on the right side of the screen to the east. And then next, I'll show the new parking lot, which is in that red area. You can see it connecting from the other parking lot. It's going to add several more spaces and then include trash and recycling location up next to the building where the loading dock is. So it's a smaller semi that comes there, but it would come through that one-way drive, pull up towards that parking lot, and then back in to up to the building there. The picture on the upper left is the existing building. In that square, red square on the bottom, is the infill underneath that building. I believe it's going to be a kitchen and dining room improvements, and that vertical rectangle coming off of there up to the roof line would be a enclosed chase where there's going to be a venting for the kitchen equipment. On the ground floor, coming off of the building, is a small vestibule. I believe it's 150 or 160 square feet that is adding on to the perimeter of the building. It's kind of, the outline of it is shown on the bottom left picture. It's kind of an L shape. The right side of the L shape that comes out the most is going to have those windows on it that you can see on the elevation drawing on the right. And then I think it'll have a double door on the left side facing the street. The materials for the vestibule addition and the chase are going to be cement board paneling that are going to be painted to match colors of the building. That's considered a type 2 building material in the zoning design standards. And most of this building is all class 1 because it's mostly brick and glass. They're allowed to have up to 65% class 2 material, so the small amount they're proposing is definitely allowed. And then as far as landscaping goes, this is a minor site plan because it doesn't add on more than 25% of the building area. So they're not required to meet any of the landscaping requirements. They would only have to replace landscaping that's affected by the proposal. We also have a tree preservation policy that requires the replacement of trees, of significant trees. This landscaping plan shows the trees that are going to be removed for this plan, and they've identified the number of replacement trees that would be needed based on the type of trees that are being removed and the size of them. Their landscape architect, they weren't able to get a landscape architect to put a plan together, but they have their landscape installer working with the city forester on the actual plantings of that to make sure that they meet those requirements. And this is a photograph of the site with the existing driveway that's going to be removed in the forefront, and then it'll turn and go towards the building, and then it'll come out across from Fraser Street, which is probably in front of where those cars are parked. And additionally, I was going to mention that this is going to add about 15 parking stalls between both of the parking lot projects, which is good because we tend to see some cars parked on the street there. And then you can see the trees that are going to be removed for the design of this. We've also worked with the engineers designing the project to make sure that when we do a future street reconstruction project here and add a sidewalk, that we will not have to have any retaining walls or issues with grading up to the edge of the sidewalks. Because with the existing grade plus their proposal, we were originally concerned with that, but we should be all set for a future city sidewalk along the property line. And then this is a photograph taken from the other direction. The parking lot would extend into quite a bit of this courtyard area. And then the exit would be about maybe where the picture was taken from, maybe a little to the left. And then one more item that they were not able to get completed, and this one's pretty common, is the photometric plan. The existing lights that are in the parking lot that they're reconfiguring, they're going to reuse. They're just going to have to move them slightly because some of the lights are currently in the center islands. But they're going to be putting similar lights in this new parking lot. And so staff will just make sure that the photometric plan shows that no more than a half-a-foot candle is going to be illuminated at the property line, which is important in this location because across the street there's residential homes. Like I commented a little bit about some of the grading, but the drainage plan, grading plan, and the utility plan has been reviewed and approved by the engineering department. So with that, staff is recommending approval with the conditions noted in the staff report.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Justin.
Yep.
Appreciate that. And Commissioner Hallberg.
Mr. Chair, I'll be recusing myself as well due to my employment with Benedict and Regina.
Okay, perfect, thank you. Open up for discussion for other commissioners. Any questions, concerns, comments, motions? Commissioner Peters?
Sorry. Thank you. I have just a quick question. It looks, I'm assuming that it aligns with the entrance or exit from the new part of the parking lot. It's hard to tell on here, but I'm assuming that it lines straight across from Fraser Street. Is that what it looks like? It just looks like it's on the drawing from here, and on here it looks like it's just slightly to the left. So I thought that would be an odd angle, but maybe it is aligned.
Oh, this is just something I scribbled up. This shouldn't
Okay.
be used to determine it. I'm not sure.
So I just wanted to be sure.
Yeah, no, it'll line up precisely with the intersection there.
And then I just had one additional question about the trees with those very mature trees coming out. I understand, that that there's different trees that go in that have to be of a certain diameter. Is there also a requirement that because these are clearly like large mature shade trees, is there a requirement that they need to be like fast growing hardwoods or anything like that?
No, the only requirement is that depending on if they're hardwood or softwood, the number of trees and the size, the number of trees they replace it with. Generally, it's if they use a 3-inch caliper tree, which is fairly large for planting trees, it's a 1-to-1 for most of what they have there. If they wanted to use smaller trees like a 2-inch caliper or 1.5, they'd have to use 2-for-1 or 3-for-1.
Okay, thank you. Commissioners, any other questions, comments? Pretty straightforward. Okay. If none, I'll entertain a motion to approve it. Commissioner Peters?
I'll make a motion to approve the site plan with the conditions listed in the proposal.
All right, Commissioner Peters, do I have a second?
Second.
Commissioner LeBron, second. Any new discussion? All right, if not, take a vote. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? And abstain.
Aye.
Okay, Commissioner Hallberg abstaining, and that motion carries. Approved. With Commissioner LeBron here now, under other business, if we can circle back to the minutes from May, we can go ahead and approve those now that we have a quorum. So we originally tabled them.
Can we though? Because it's people that were here.
Oh, you were not here for May either. Oh, that's right. No, he wasn't here for May. Okay, we do have to keep the minutes tabled until we get an actual quorum.
Chair Messina, if I can add, you'll never have a quorum to approve the minutes because you didn't have a quorum to have a meeting. That's the whole reason that there was an issue.
Okay.
Technically, the minutes don't need to be approved because there was no official meeting.
Okay, so we could just go ahead and consider those, move forward with those
Yeah.
as they are.
It's more for just information, I think, because it
Okay.
was held kind of as a workshop, I believe.
Perfect. Justin, we'll go with Justin's recommendation and move those minutes and post those minutes. How's that sound? All right, other business.
I'm not aware of any. I know we've probably got a couple things coming down the pipeline for consideration in the near future. But I guess I wasn't sure if John had anything else he was going to share about anything. So that's all from me.
All right, that's fine. Commissioners, any other business? No? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Chair, I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Commissioner Halberg, second. Commissioner McGrath?
Second.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye.